I swear, last time we recorded was back in July, right?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, we'll easily get a couple of episodes in before Christmas.
Life got in the way a little bit,
Yeah,
what with you selfishly becoming a father.
No. Flipping heck.
I seem to remember I had a cold in that episode.
Oh, did
And
you?
I have been absolute tip-top condition since then, until this morning. I just feel rough again. So apologies for the voice. I'll do my best.
Now come along and listen to us talk with the Bon Jam. Go and have a lovely little walk with the Bon Jam. Or maybe put it on and go to bed with the Bon Jam. Or grab yourself a slice of toast and spread with the Bon Jam.
Hello and welcome to Bon Jam with me, James Turner, and I'm joined by the octopus to my spectre. It's Mr. Simon Jeffrey.
I wondered where you were going with that one. Hello, James.
Well, this is quite a new experience for me. You may notice it sounds a little bit different, and that is because I am taking over hosting duties. So instead of hearing Simon's voice all the time, you'll now be hearing mine.
We're having a bit of a James takeover episode, a Turner takeover.
So things will run a little differently. We'll still have games with James, but obviously we'll be altering that to games with Simon.
Oh, good. I can't wait. We've been talking about this for a while. I'm looking forward to it. Are you going to re-record the jingle to Games with James? Or should we just...
Maybe you should be recording the jingle, because usually it was me, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, why don't I just go, Simon, over the top of it.
That'll do.
Right. What are we talking about today?
So we were...
Hang on, you usually do that part. Sorry.
So are you...
So you say, what are we talking about today, James?
Oh, yeah. So, Simon, what are we talking about today?
I don't know.
Well, I think we've gone through lots of discussions about what the takeover could, the topic the takeover could cover, and I'm quite comfortable in settling for a video game orientated one, hence the octopus / spectre comparison. So we thought about maybe what film would make a good video game and what levels we could probably take from that idea.
Yeah, well, if you look back through our vast back catalogue, because we're up to, 16 episodes in over 3 years now. Episode 3 was titled, What Film or what Bond movie would make the best video game, I think. But we spent over half of that conversation talking about the games that we'd played from the series, and only left ourselves a little bit of time, about halfway through, to go through each and every film one by one and say, oh, that would be good because you could do this bit, that would be good because you could do this bit, Goldfinger would be good for this, Thunderball, you could do this. And because there were so many films to get through, I don't think we were able to really stop and dwell on any one in particular. I thought it would be nice to go back to some of those ideas and just flesh them out a little bit more and not feel compelled to sort of move on because we've got to get through all of them, you know.
Yeah.
But that was the very broad remit for this episode, was let's bring a few of those ideas along and talk a little bit more in depth about them.
So Simon, you've come up with a film like you'd like to suggest, and I've come up with a film I'd like to suggest, and we can kind of discuss what ideas, what levels, how the gameplay would work for that particular film, video game tie-in.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the theory, anyway, of this episode. In reality, I've not prepared much at all.
Well,
but...
yeah, don't forget this is a James takeover episode, so things will probably not run as smoothly as a Simon-hosted one, but we'll see what happens.
If you came looking for that sweet, smooth-flowing Bon Jam professionalism, maybe don't go for one where A, we haven't recorded in months, B, I've got a cold, and C, James has taken over hosting abilities, who's well-renowned for his one-take wonders of getting everything right the first time, right?
Yeah, apart from that time when we had to record the same episode like 3 times. But yeah, other than that, yeah, we're all good.
I figured all I needed to really bring along was the start of an idea, and then we could riff on it for a bit.
Well, tell you what, why don't you go first, explain your idea, and then we'll see what comes of it.
We're going to begin in an aeroplane flying to Cuba. Okay. We're going to see M with the likeness of Robert Brown.
Okay, that's cool.
And he's going to be given a little backstory about the mission that Bond is about to embark upon.
Okay.
And then we're going to get to Cuba. There's going to be a little bit going on because essentially in the film we don't really get to know what the mission is about, but in this game we're going to fill that background in a little bit.
Okay, that sounds cool.
So, have you any idea where I'm going yet?
It felt very Living Daylights-y when you were mentioning about M telling Bond a mission.
It's
in a
a
plane.
similar setup I can picture with Robert Brown's M. However, it's not, because it takes place in Cuba.
Yeah, that's what threw me a bit, but yeah.
Which is, of course...
Well, Cuba is the first thing I think about when I think of Die Another Day, but...
Octopussy, correct, James.
was the other one. Yes, okay, that sounds cool.
I think maybe the reason you don't think of Octopussy is because...
It just looks like it's Pinewood.
It looks like it's filmed at the Pinewood backlot, doesn't it? But it is the pre-title sequence to Octopussy is what I'm talking about here. The sequence that ends with the Acrostar jet sequence.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of prime for video game territory because, as I say, it is not fleshed out really. The mission behind that.
No.
We clearly catch Bond on the tail end of something he's involved in much the sort of Goldfinger formula that established, where we catch up with Bond midway through a mission that has very little to do with what follows. Mm-hmm. But I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a little Roger Moore escapade? I mean, I will take any video game in which I get to play in a third-person likeness of Sir Roger Moore.
Yeah.
But because I've been playing a lot of Hitman recently, I'm a bit behind the curve. I'm on the second game now. But I thought, what is the sort of most Hitman-esque Bond film? And I think you've even described his Octopussy mission as a bit of an Agent 47 of the Bond films before. He goes on a bit of a disguise spree in that film.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
So the first thing I thought of was him sort of changing into the outfits and stuff.
Yeah, like trying to find the right disguise in order to pretend to be that person.
Well, I originally thought, maybe you could do a proper Hitman-esque game where he could sneak into the barracks and get the uniform, but actually he has that jacket that turns inside out, doesn't he?
Right,
so maybe it doesn't quite work. But still, they're clearly... If we go backwards from the point at which we meet them in the film, Bond meets up with his contact in Cuba, whose name I don't know. What's her name? Bianca.
Bianca, that's right, yeah. It is Bianca.
In the film, Bond, as played by Roger Moore, meets up with Bianca in Cuba, outside a military base of some kind. There's horse racing going on. I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on, but and
his first lines in the movie are, "You didn't tell me there was going to be this much security."
Yeah.
So that suggests not only Bond already knows Bianca at this point. There's a mission they're both clued into. Mm-hmm. Bond was expecting something else but didn't get it. So maybe a kind of extended pre-title sequence, a prologue to Octopussy, could really nicely start off a James Bond game.
I could imagine the train sequence being a great level where
you shimmying up and down like an Uncharted game.
And then if you need to take a disguise, you can take Mishka Grishka's disguise, and then you get the gorilla suit if you wanted to, and just hide there like. If you stood there not moving, then the guards don't see you.
We talked about this a bit. We had a Project 007 episode not long ago, and we discussed our hopes for that game, and a lot of them were based around the gameplay mechanics of Hitman, given that it's the same studio that's going to be producing this game eventually.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't help but imagine having those Hitman-esque gameplay mechanics, that the sneaking, the disguises, and the multiple ways of doing things, particularly, is something I think could really work in a Bond game's favour. So if you like James and you love the gorilla suit, you can play it.
Yeah,
like
but you
that.
Don't have to though. You can just go an alternate route.
You can go a sensible route, and you can go down. But maybe you have to play it more than once to get all the achievements, and you can go back and do it again. But so yeah, I like the idea of maybe getting to know Bianca a bit more, because she doesn't do much in the film, but she does know Bond clearly. And then that leads up to the Toro sequence, which sneaking past all the people. Which if you don't change your disguise, then you get caught.
Yeah.
It could be like Hitman, where you stash a disguise somewhere and you have to find it first. But if you try and do it, they've all got like little alert dots above their head that show that they'll spot you immediately.
Yeah. There's also Bond's escape from the Monsoon Palace, where you can choose different options to try and get out of that jungle environment. You don't have to choose the tars and vines. You could choose a different option.
Thank goodness. Yeah. You can have dialogue options as well for the conversational options with Kamal Khan and others.
Yeah.
When to use the Fabergé egg, whether to eat the sheep's eyeballs or not.
Yeah.
Invites Gobinder for a nightcap.
Yeah. Would you have vehicular sections like the Aquastar jet or the Tuk Tuk taxi? Do you think you'd do
yes,
stuff like, yeah, okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously, the pre-title sequence would certainly lead up to. You can bide your time. You can do more stuff around the airbase perhaps before leaving. Maybe there's sub quests there, like obtain a dossier of some kind or assassinate someone. But then, you'd head towards the jet, and then that would begin a flying sequence. And other vehicle sequences could be the car chase in Germany, Austria.
Oh yeah,
Germany.
Germany. Yeah.
Maybe it's a more open world little town square, and you can take any vehicle.
Yeah.
Take a little moped. Yeah, I like the idea of just playing as Roger Moore and playing through different outfits and disguises and likenesses, and we can get a decent impressionist, perhaps. Get Steve Coogan to do it. He does a pretty good Roger Moore.
Yeah.
The name's Bond. James Bond. 007, licensed to kill.
That's pretty good. How would the game manage to do the final part of that film with the fight on the plane?
I don't want to rely on QuickTime events.
No, that's my worry about games where it's just all QuickTime events. 007 Legends did it heavily.
As long as you don't lose control of the character and you're still free to move around, but maybe there are options. So you can climb along the wing. You might be able to disable a propeller, but if you climb down to the end, you might be able to do the flaps or something, or maybe you can just hang on the wing and shoot him through the cockpit or whatever.
It doesn't have to follow the exact flow of what happens in the film.
No, but it would cut to him falling off the plane, and then you just have the ability to, I don't know, deploy a parachute or something.
Yeah.
Some way of landing that's not quite just jump, jump off the plane. That's my idea.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's interesting you come up with that idea because I was also going to suggest Octopussy in the style of Hitman. But I did come up with a backup idea, License to Kill. I
thought you were going to describe it and see if I could guess.
Oh, right, well...
start again. Just you start to describe it. I'll see if I can guess.
Okay, well... We've often said that Dr. No would be a good James Bond game because you could have an open world environment set in Jamaica, couldn't we? And because the majority of that film takes place more or less in the same location. So that's what made me start to think, what other Bond film is set quite heavily in a similar location for the majority of that movie?
Yeah.
And that film is...
Is it License to Kill?
It's License to Kill, yeah.
Hey!
So obviously a lot of that film is set in Isthmus City, but we do have a lot of stuff going on in the Florida Keys and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking the first couple of levels, you'd have the stuff where they apprehend Sanchez, and you'd add extra missions between them until you get to where Bond has to infiltrate the wave crest and stuff like that. And then when we get to Isthmus City, that's like unlocking a new island, and that's where Sanchez is now holed up, and this is like the second island, and all the stuff in Isthmus City, all the way up to the tanker chase is all set all in that island then. But you've got free reign to move where you want. You can jump into different vehicles. You'll be doing jobs here and there, because once you get to Isthmus City, you've been pushed out of MI6 by M. So you kind of go a bit rogue with what you do in the same way of what happens in the film.
You just become a taxi driver or a milkman.
Yeah. So that would be my idea. I think there's obviously room for more exploration, like you said with the octopusy stuff. You can expand that idea a bit further with other missions, stuff that you didn't see in the film. And then eventually Q comes along, and he kind of provides you with any weapons, gadgets, things like that you need to stock up on.
Oh, I like it. I like the idea of playing as Timothy Dalton.
Yeah. When you're undercover, trying to work your way into Sanchez's gang, or whatever you want to call them, you'd have to try and obtain a certain amount of money before you can actually unlock that mission.
By working as a taxi driver.
I was going to suggest going to a casino, do some gambling to try and get some money, or go and do the odd job here, not taxi driver, but...
I do like the idea. I mean, I think the only alarm bells for me would be sort of, would it feel like a Bond game while doing that? And if you're sort of going with the whole he's gone rogue kind of aspect, then you don't have certain tools to play with necessarily, like... Your reliance on M is a little bit less available to you to have as a plot device and to sort of keep you focused on a mission. Although it seems like every time Bond goes rogue, he somehow manages to get Q and others on his side anyway.
Yeah. But you actually also reminded me that I forgot that Thunderball pretty much all takes place in the Bahamas. So that could have also been another opportunity for that open world.
If we do sort of go back to the Hitman layout, assuming that what we're going to get may be something to do with that, I don't want to do another sort of Project 007 Part 2 episode, because you never know. This could age terribly if this never happens, because I went on IO Interactive's website earlier, and it's the same as it was when we last did our episode about it. They're still recruiting people, so if we ever get it, it's going to be ages away. But assuming we do, and assuming we get something that we like, and it's sort of based upon at least the starting blocks of a Hitman game, then taken in a Bond direction, do you think that a Bond game needs to have some of those elements, like kind of spy vision, those kind of tricks that, allow him to see stuff that no one could ever see and things like that, or, the Last of Us hearing, or... Like
it would make sense, I think, because that's what makes Bond who he is. He can do things that other people probably couldn't.
Yeah, I think it's not about being sort of superhuman or being impossible. It's not like, no one could possibly see around that corner. It's the fact that you're playing as someone who is better than you would be in that situation. So it's allowing you to play as a character who has abilities beyond your own. So being able to see what is explosive around you, for instance, or what could be interacted with, it does help. But yeah, it's a fine line between you've got superpowers. I don't want a game that tells me where to go every second. Some games, if you put that mode on, it will tell you that your objective is 100 feet that way or whatever. And I think in some of those cases, I think this might as well be on all the time, because I'm just using it constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I use the R1 button on Hitman pretty much all the time anyway.
Yeah. Well, if you play on 00 agent difficulty, then you can't use that mode, and you just go
no maps.
Yep.
No,
Yeah. So
I noticed that on the Hitman difficulties. One of them, you can only save the game once.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah,
that'd be a nightmare. What other films do you think could be prime for an enjoyable Bond game?
Well, we did mention that Roger Moore is the actor that we'd love to see most in a Bond game. I think The Spy Who Loved Me is the one that always comes instantly to mind, where I think, that would make a great Bond game. The action sequence in that, especially the Lippus stuff and Atlantis and everything like that. So I think it's quite appealing to others as well, the idea of a Spy Who Loved Me video game. I think it's the one that's most cherished out there, so I think it has potential.
Is a great Bond game the one where you do all the biggest stunts and the biggest action pieces, or is it the one where you do sort of the most spy work and stuff, or there's a mystery to solve somehow?
Well, I think that depends on the sort of game you want to play, really. But I always recall games like Agent on Fire, Nightfire, and Everything or Nothing. You had those moments called, I think they called them Bond moments or 007 moments, where you'd do a certain action and you'd get a little award and then the James Bond theme would kick in as you did it.
Everything or Nothing definitely had 007 moments.
Yeah, and those are the moments I used to really like, where you'd hit a switch and it would cause like gas to just spew out at the enemy or something like that, and it go da-da-da-da.
Yeah, they would usually be optional moments, just moments that you could just add into your gameplay. I think that would be a great opportunity to have those as sort of replay value add-ons, sort of do it this way, because that's the one thing that sort of takes me a little while. When I started playing the second Hitman game again, it took me a few gameplays just to sort of get back into it. And the funny thing about that game is I genuinely enjoy it far more repeating myself than the first time I play it. Like the first time I play any new area, it's just, I don't know, get the job done however I can.
Yeah.
And then on repeated playthroughs, it's like, I'm going to do it this way now.
Yeah.
And you make a choice at the beginning. There's a certain amount of like when you go into it for the first time where you're like, I can't do it all at once.
Yeah,
There's too many missions popping up, and you can't make your mind up about which to follow. But if they can bring out a game that has the same replay value of just like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to get this challenge. I'm going to do this. That's been the problem with something like Quantum of Solace or Bloodstone or 007 Legends or whatever. There's very linear and no reason to really replay, and I think that's what a Bond game needs to do now.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it before, like, the different challenges that you could be set in a Bond game would allow you to play it in different styles of Bond.
Yeah.
Do it the Dalton way or the Moore way. And in that respect, I'm kind of looking forward to the new game having its own
generic Bond.
unique generic take on Bond, because I don't want to be playing as Daniel Craig all the time. Not that it's likely to be now, but in the same way, I'm not. If it was an open world game with different ways to do the missions, I wouldn't necessarily want to play as Roger Moore every time.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't complain if that's all we got, but
But the option to choose which Bond approach you could do, then that would be the ultimate.
I don't think we will get that, by the way. I don't think we'll get any of the other actors' licenses, because it's a complex thing, and I just don't see Daniel Craig wanting to have anything to do with it now he's done.
Though said that, don't forget Sean Connery was in From Russia with Love, so
I mean, some time had passed, though. I think maybe the feelings of being thankful it was all over had gone, and maybe he started to miss it. But you never know. Like, maybe if we do get a Bond game in the middle of Bond actors like we did with From Russia with Love, then it might allow for something to happen that wouldn't otherwise be able to happen.
Yeah.
If Brosnan had still been kind of active and cranking out those films, then it's unlikely we would have got a Sean Connery Bond game, I think.
Yeah, it's true.
But they clearly were like, well, there isn't a current Bond, let's do something from the past. So maybe what we need is no Bond films for a bit.
And some good James Bond games to come out instead.
And for the estate of Sir Roger Moore to say, he would have loved this, do what you want with his likeness. Because of all the actors, he would have been on board with it.
Yeah.
He didn't live his life sort of bitterly resenting the thing that he's known for in quite the way that Connery sometimes did, or perhaps even Daniel Craig might go on to do at times. So he would celebrate Bond any opportunity given to him.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
I think if he were around and given the choice, he would probably voice it again.
Yeah, so hopefully now is the time to see Octopussy and License to Kill become games, if there ever is one.
License to Kill with Roger Moore.
Yeah.
I was looking to see on Google if there was any sort of rendering of Roger Moore in a sort of video game aesthetic, giving us a taste of what we might see.
Didn't you have the wrestling game where you could put your Bond actors' faces in?
I made pretty much everyone I could think of in that wrestling game, yeah. Well, I don't think Roger turned out that well. I think the picture I used had too much shadow on his face, so he just looked like he'd been on the sunbed a bit too long. Maybe Live and Let Die would be a good one as well.
Yeah.
You could take the premise of that film, which is really interesting, and you could iron out all the slightly ropey parts of it, if I can say that there are any, take out any of the controversial or cringy parts and make that into a really rich environment of like investigating the underworld of this kind of voodoo infused plot with elements of kind of the kind of underworld of like gangsters in Harlem and go around the world and just exist as Bond in his jacket and gloves. That you based your look on him for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I definitely used it as when we were in uni.
I have since become a man with leather gloves, and there's always a part of me as I'm putting them on, I'm just like, it's a bit like Live and Let Die, this, isn't it?
Just needs to walk into a shop and ask for something to be gift wrapped lengthwise.
Lengthwise, I'm not such an idiot as to walk into a shop and correct them on how they're gift wrapping something for me. I don't even know what the difference is.
This is discussion we should be doing for the next episode, to be fair.
I don't know, this feels like much more of a sort of loose, free-form conversation, vaguely about videos.
Hey, listen, it's the James Takeover. This is what happens in a James Takeover episode, where we just talk about anything.
Well, I don't know, maybe this is a good formula going forward, just, like, rather, because I think we started off pretty high concept, like, we need to succinctly sum up our feelings on a particular thing, so we need never revisit it at all, like, what is the best unused Bond theme, or what is the best gadget or worst gadget, or whatever. I think you'll agree on every one of those occasions we never reach a consensus.
No.
So there's no harm in the occasional just casual chat if it means we're recording again, James, you're taking over and leading, and we're moving through the films.
Yeah.
Because we did say at the start of the year that we'd get to Roger Moore before the end of it. We're pushing our luck now, but I still think it's possible.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I've talked more than you, James, on this one. You're meant to be taking over. So
to be honest, that's fine by me.
Do a summary. Have we learned anything today?
So, yes, Octopussy and License to Kill would make two very different Bond games, but overall, basically, we just want a Roger Moore James Bond game to come out. Yeah.
You want to play as Timothy Dalton as a taxi driver, and
yes.
I want to play as Roger Moore so I can correct people's gift wrapping.
Cool.
I would take any of them. Just, like, give me an open world, give me a linear narrative, I don't care. Give me all the villains or made-up ones or whatever, but just let me play as Roger Moore.
Yes. Shall we play games with Simon?
Oh my word, yeah. Sorry, it's really thrown me. I'm used to sort of wrapping up myself. Yeah,
let's go for it.
Games with Simon. Is that it?
Yeah, that'll do.
I can't guarantee I'll put the same amount of production value as I did in the first jingle. Depends how many times we're going to do these James Takeover episodes.
Yeah, well, based on this game,
I think every maybe we can regard this sort of as the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Not that we need seasons as such. It doesn't really make a whole load of difference, but
yeah, because it'll only be 5 years until we get to the end of season 2. So,
well, I mean, I sense you're saying as a joke, but it genuinely has. It is over 3 years since we recorded our first episode.
Yeah. Jesus.
But like I say, things come up. This whole pandemic came up, and you've been married and had a child since we started.
Oh, blimey, yeah.
And I'm getting married next year, so...
Yeah, all growing up and getting old.
Anyway, you mentioned games with Simon. On that cheery note.
Yes. So, this is quite an unusual game.
Good.
It most likely will not work at all.
Okay.
And it's as much a game for me as it is probably for you anyway. So
I gave you one episode out of 16 where you take over and you do it for me this time, and you still make it for you.
Well, you still have to get things right.
Okay.
I'm the one that has to present it, but it's how I present it to you. So the name of this game is called Who Are You?
Okay. Who are you? Yeah.
Who am I? And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving you impressions of certain... I'm going to be doing impressions of certain characters from the Bond films.
Okay. I see why it's for you now as well as me. Okay.
Your job is to see if you can guess the impression. Now, so... the impressions are not going to be of any Bond actors. so I don't have to do my Sean Connery impression or Roger Moore impression or anything like that. And they will not be including lines from the film to make things a little bit harder. So I'm just going to be talking in the voice, and you have to guess the character from the voice I use.
Is this a good idea, James?
I think so.
You're going to be doing an impression of a character from a Bond film.
Yes.
But not saying any of their lines.
Nope.
Are you going to put them in a different situation? Are they going?
Yes, I'll be trying to give you clues, not obvious clues, but I'll be giving you clues based on.
It's like, whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah, we'll start with an easy one.
Do I have to make a good and bad?
Yeah. I'm not used to this.
It's just as well I'm here, isn't it, James? I mean, what would you do without me?
Oh no. So So have you got a sound to make for if you get it right?
Let's go with delicious. It's an Elliot Carver reference there.
And one for if it's wrong, please.
Okay, let's go with a Pierce Brosnan one. Hang on, let's go. Close, but no cigar.
Good. I like that. You should be playing this game.
He does that thing where before he talks, he kind of parts his lips and takes a big inhale, so it's like... Anyway, let's move on. It's not about me. You're doing the impressions.
Well, to be honest, your impressions are going to be miles better than mine.
This is why it surprises me that you've chosen this as your game.
Well, I knew that it would be quite funny when we do this because you know how bad my impressions are, so we'll see what happens.
Do you remember when we played that Accentuate game and we did it on like Facebook Live or something? And as soon as we started playing it, it was a game where you had two cards from a box and one had a quote from a film and an accent from around the world.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as I started playing it, I thought, this was a bad idea, isn't it? Because some of these, I'm not even sure this is okay anymore. You know, Are any of these accents going to get us in trouble, James?
There's one dodgy one, but we can remove it if you think it's a bit too bad. But no.
In other words, if you're listening to this and you think there weren't any dodgy ones in there, then I've cut something out. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is. Yeah. But no, they should all be good. These. Just it might be worth also noting
they should all be good.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I say that is because I've not done any practice of these impressions. I've not revised how well I can. I've not watched the Bond films for quite a while, so they're just based on memory and whether I think I can pull off this impression.
So, what am I guessing? Who the person is?
Who the person is? What the character is? Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Well, this should be an easy one, boy. If you can't get this one, then I don't know how you're going to do the other ones, boy. Would you like to take a guess?
I remember you saying ages ago that you had a Games with Simon lined up. Is this what it was?
No, but I thought this one would be better.
This seems like something you just woke up in a fever dream last night, just thinking, oh my god, I've just remembered I needed something.
Yeah, no, I had another one, but this is
better.
I thought this would be more enjoyable. Yeah.
Well, it's fun. Was that Sheriff Pepper? Delicious.
Yeah, it is J.W. Pepper from Living Let Down. Well done.
Maybe
I'll put one right there.
I'll put maybe a clip of them in so we can hear it contrasting from what it should have sounded like.
What are you? Some kind of doomsday machine, boy?
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm going to be saying as these characters.
I thought you maybe had come up with situations to put them in, like that's the hardest part sometimes, like giving them a context.
Yeah, something to say. Yeah.
Can I suggest them?
If you want to.
If you've not got anything lined up, like can the next one be I don't know, arguing with someone at the checkout?
Okay. All right. Okay. Hello. You'll find that you've overcharged me for this item. I advise you to make sure that it is correct, please, and give me my money back here. And that's it.
Why do I sense that the "ya" is pivotal in getting this? Is it Dr. Kaufman? Delicious.
It is Dr. Kaufman. Well done. Congratulations. Yes.
Stand up, slowly, drop your gun and kick it toward me, yeah?
It's just the yeah I got. Can we have the next one asking someone at an information desk where their luggage has gone because it hasn't shown up?
Okay. Well, I'm here to sorry again. Well, I've come here and my luggage has disappeared. Now, I will need you to find the luggage, or else I'm going to get the insurance company to involved in all of this.
Okay, so that's Zukovsky, right? Delicious.
The insurance company is never going to believe this.
At first I thought, are you doing Scottish or are you doing Russian? But it makes sense now, because you're doing a Scottish man doing a Russian
on
accent.
purpose. Yeah,
okay, so you're right. Valentin Dmitrovich Zukovsky.
Yes.
So next up, I want you to do it as if you're presenting a YouTube makeup tutorial.
Oh, God. Right, okay.
Somehow I've become in charge of this. You noticed? It's meant to be your game for me, and I'm telling you exactly what to do.
Oh dear. Okay. Now listen, if you want to get the makeup right for this tutorial, you'll need these items in order to do it the way I do it, okay? And this is how you do it.
I've no idea. It sounds kind of like you're doing maybe Felix Leiter from Diamonds Are Forever. Close, but no cigar.
I was meant to be Willard White from Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh.
What the hell's happened to me, and what can I do about it?
All right, could you do? I don't know. Could you do it as a someone doing an aircraft safety announcement?
Oh no, dear me. Okay, all right. Now, if you find yourself. Now, if the plane is going to crash, you'll find that all the information you need is in the seat in front of you. Now, I don't actually sound like this in the film, but this is as good as I can probably get for this character.
It blows my mind that you thought this is a good idea. I think that's a Christopher Walken impression, which suggests that it's Max Zorin. Is that right? Delicious.
It was Max Zorin, yeah.
Now, if you find...
Intuitive improvisation is the secret of genius.
So far, so unproblematic, so I'm looking forward to the one I've got to cut. Let's have the next one as a TV chef.
Okay. I'm going to be cooking something nice. Let's just make a pizza. Okay, right. Now, the ingredients you'll need are pepperoni, and you'll need some cheese, and you'll need to put it on the dough. I remind you that you must make sure that it is put in at the right temperature.
Okay, that's very good. That's General Orlov. Delicious.
It is General Orlov. Well done. Yeah.
Must I remind you, the committee, of our overwhelming superiority over NATO forces before we give it away?
Very good, James.
Okay.
The next one is someone who is frustrated with a printer that just won't connect to the computer.
I don't know why this printer is not printing. It's really winding me up. If there's something I can just figure out, maybe I can do it correctly, but it's just not working.
I mean, you sound like Peter Lorre or like Ren from Ren and Stimpy or something.
Well, it's not that.
I don't know. Like Kronstein? Close, but no cigar.
No, it wasn't Kronstein. I was meant to be Draco from Her Majesty's Secret Service in that one. The printer is not working. Why is it not working? I thought it was a good one, that one. Of all the ones that I've had, I thought that might have been the best ones.
I'll just let the side-by-side comparison do the speaking.
Yeah.
Do not kill me, Mr. Bond. At least not until we've had a drink. Then if you wish, I'll give you another chance.
All right, the next one is the voice from your sat-nav.
Hello, you need to take the next left onto onto Turner Street, and then you could be able to find the right directions from there, and then eventually you'll reach your destination. Bye now.
I don't think I've ever had a sat-nav just give me all the instructions at once and then say bye. I can't get it from that. Is there any more you can give me without
I'll try and get
saying,
some more. Okay.
Don't drop in a quote.
No. As you can see from my voice, that I'm quite a friendly character, but you'll realise that I'm a great ally, especially when you're trying to get to your destination.
An ally trying to get to... I feel like that's a clue, but maybe that's just you doing
No, that's me just with the sat-nav, but I am a good ally.
Bond has never had an ally that sounds like that. I have no idea, James. I'm going to have to pass. I'm sorry. Close, but no cigar.
It was supposed to be VJ.
I'm VJ, Special Expediter, Universal Exports. Welcome to India, Commander Bond.
It's not actually that bad, to be fair.
That was the dodgy one, by the way.
That's not dodgy.
Is that all right?
No,
okay, that's good.
Because you're not that far off, actually.
Yeah, okay.
And if you'd done just an obscene Indian accent, it would have been incorrect as much as anything. I mean, he doesn't have a strong accent. It is kind of gentle, like you did.
Yeah. I'm glad you liked it then.
This one, you're making a cup of tea and you want to know how the person wants their tea. Okay, you got loads of different ways you can make the tea. How do they want it?
So, I don't know why you've. Sorry, I've done that one. So,
they all sort of start sounding quite similar after a while.
I don't know why you've done the tea this way, because the correct way to do the tea is using the right amount of sugar and the right amount of milk. Do you understand? Of course you do. Now, once you've made that, all you have to do is stir it correctly. Exactly like that. Okay. It's terrible, that one.
That was an impression of someone.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't very good. Let's try again. Okay. Oh, I was making tea, wasn't I? I was showing someone how to make tea.
It's irrelevant at this point, James. You do you.
So remember, you need to make the tea correctly so you can get the tastes into your mouth perfectly.
Did you pick characters you thought you could do?
In my head, I thought I could do them. I didn't practice them.
I have no idea. Is it Rosika Miklos from Living Daylights? Close, but no cigar.
I was meant to be Tanner from For Your Eyes Only.
What?
5 days ago, our spy ship, St. George's, was sunk in the Ionian Sea. She was equipped with ATAC.
I thought you were doing a Russian accent or something.
I'm doing a posh person's accent.
Oh my word. The next voice, the impression, I want you to do it as if you are an expert on the Antiques Roadshow, giving your valuation.
Now, you will see that the item you have brought is very good, and it is in pristine condition, and I think it could be worth quite a lot of money. So, this is probably in the value of it's probably in the value of, I'd say, £12,000. Yes.
Oh, I wish the listeners could see you doing it as well, James. You had your shoulders hunched up like an owl.
The character doesn't have their shoulders hunched up, so they don't use that as a clue.
Are you even from a Bond film? Are you sure you're not like Edna from The Incredibles? I don't know. I mean, to be honest, at first I thought it was just General Orloff again. Is it Rosa Klebb? Close, but no cigar.
No. I was Dr. Carl Mortner from View to a Kill.
Okay.
Selective breeding is important, yeah. But more important is conditioning and desire, yeah.
You've not gone obvious with your choices. I have to commend you on that. Well done.
Yeah, I thought I'd go for some really weird
In
ones.
fairness, I think if I
didn't want it to be too obvious.
If I had chosen these and tried to do impressions, I don't know if you'd have got them either. So, okay, last one.
Last one. Yep.
Okay, this character is performing a one-man or woman show entitled "The Clothes I'm Wearing." You can interpret that as you like.
Now, I must say that the clothes that you can see that I'm wearing are absolutely amazing, and they will be. You'll be able to get these in numerous shops, especially the ones that I bought them from. And yes, you should be able to get them as soon as you can, old boy. So as long as you can find that. You'll be able to wear the same clothes that you will see me wearing myself.
Remind me not to check out that show. I think I can go without. I think there's a telltale line in there that you used. Is this Red Grant? Close, but no cigar.
No, it's not.
You just said. You said old boy. Oh, it's old man for Red Grant, isn't it?
I was meant to be Henderson from You Only Live Twice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not Russia, old boy, I'm sure of that. It's not Japan, either.
Honestly, I think this game could have just been called, is James doing a Russian accent or a posh accent?
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah, it would have been a better title, I think.
I couldn't tell you the difference on some of them. Well, is that it?
That's all of them, yes.
How did I do?
You got 5 out of 11. I think it's 11. But, yeah.
I'll take
Nearly
that.
half.
I'll take it.
More or less half.
I'll take it, yeah.
Yeah.
Given the impressions, I'll take it.
I think that shows how good of an impressionist I am. That you can get them.
Oh, well done. Please read Simon. All right, James, you can wrap it up now. It's your show. Come on.
Oh yeah. So thanks for listening. Join us next time, and we'll be going for the Live and Let Die episode, which we've been looking quite forward to for some time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever else we normally say. You can find us on Instagram, Spotify. Oh God, whatever, Twitter. What else is normally said?
Where can they find us, James? What do they search for?
Oh yeah, you can find us at Bond Jam Cast. Is that right?
Yes.
On Spotify. God, of all the stuff that I rehearsed, I never bothered rehearsing the end bit.
I would help you out. Honestly, I can't be bothered. So if anyone is wanting to find out where to find us, some of the information you've just heard. If not, listen to one of the other episodes.
Yeah, it's on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud. The usual stuff. Just search for Bond Jamcast and you'll find it there. That'll do. Right. So until next time.
Don't forget to spread that jam.
Spread that jam. See you later.
Cheerio. I did a thing.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.